Representative Neil Rafferty of Birmingham is back in studio with us. Representative, welcome back to Capitol Journal.
Thank you, Don. Glad to be back.
A lot I want to talk to you about, but I want to begin with the new legislation that's been introduced for next year dealing with banning transgender surgeries and other treatments for minors in the state. Right. This is a bill that passed the Senate in the regular session this year and also got out of House committee, but never made it to the House floor because the pandemic intervened. Mm-hmm. When this was in committee this year in the House, you made some pretty impassioned remarks against this legislation, and you share a lot of those same concerns going into the regular session in February, where this bill will again be considered.
That's correct. I want to be absolutely clear here. This is a bill that is a solution in search of a problem. It's not a Democratic or Republican issue. It's not a liberal versus conservative issue. This is an issue that deals with the rights of families across the state to make incredibly private medical decisions within the offices of their trusted medical and mental health care providers.
You can't insist that there's a sanctity and a privacy within a healthcare provider's office and then go around the country and systematically ban therapy that helps gender-confused children resolve their gender dysphoric feelings.
I know this because I know I'm not the only one, but I know many of my colleagues have also received outcry from families across the state who are concerned about the implications of this bill.
How realistic is it to believe that a 14 or 15-year-old or a 16-year-old has really the capacity to make that kind of decision?
Representative Wes Allen of Troy sponsored this bill in the regular session this year. He's bringing it back next year. He was recently on our program, and he has insisted throughout the debate over this issue that he doesn't feel it's discriminatory. He feels that minors shouldn't be subjected to what may be a permanent life-altering decision, right. That they should go through mental health channels first, and then as an adult make the decision for themselves.
Sure. So let's get some facts straight here. The surgical procedures on minors is something that does not occur in the state of Alabama or anywhere else in the country.
What did he just say?
The surgical procedures on minors is something that does not occur in the state of Alabama or anywhere else in the country.
In terms of general reconstructive surgeries, I think surgery actually happened until 16 that have had vaginoplasty. In terms of masculinizing top surgery, I think 12 is the youngest who's had surgery through our program.
Girls in the United States as young as 13 and 14 years old are having mastectomies of completely healthy breasts.
I had top surgery when it was a month before I turned 17. So I was pretty young. I honestly don't think I was at an age where I was able to fully truly understand and take in all the different aspects of that.
Medications that are used are 100% reversible and safe.
What we don't know with regard to some of the long-term consequences of these medications. I mean, if you look at our consent forms, they're fraught with vague language and may, could. We know very little about things that are really important to families, like fertility, like cancer potential or oncologic potential of these agents, cardiac risk. I mean, things that are families want to know.
And they're not even necessary until a certain age.
Children as young as 8 years old are now being given cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers.
We talk about medications, we're talking about, among other things, puberty blocking medications.
Correct, yes.
Which have become somewhat controversial in this debate.
And I understand that they have become controversial, and I think the problem is, once again, a misunderstanding of what they do. These do not, once again, these are reversible and these are safe.
Lupron or any of the similar types of medications should never be used in someone under the age of 21.
Individuals in whom puberty is delayed multiple years are likely to suffer negative psychosocial and self-confidence effects as they stand on the sidelines while their peers undergo pubertal changes. If you block a kid's puberty and for 3-4 years, he remains looking like a child and feeling like a child while his peers are into a whole different phase.
In essence, puberty blockers induce a developmental delay in children who already have significant mental health issues.
There are nearly 24,000 reports of adverse reactions filed with the FDA. More than half are deemed serious cases.
When I was 16, I started on puberty blockers, and I was on that for a year, and I continued with it for an extra year along with cross-sex hormones. I felt angry that, no one was there to really say any different, and I was allowed to run with this idea that I had, or, almost like a fantasy. It's affected me in the long run as an adult. I'm very young. I've only just kind of stepped into adulthood, and I have to, deal with this kind of burden.
15, 20 years, the science of all this is going to be so clear and so laid out, and it will be just like the lobotomy movement. And everyone will be looking back saying, oh, how is this possible? How could this, how savage these people were, kind of thing. But until then, there are lives to be rescued.